Welcome to the Whiskey Chasers, where we talk about our passion for whiskey and its history, either amongst ourselves or while interviewing distilleries, all while enjoying a glass. I'm Steve.
I'm Nick.
And I'm Chris.
Please enjoy responsibly while enjoying this week's episode of the Whiskey Chasers.
Hello, everybody. It is the Whiskey Chasers. We're coming at you with another recording.
We got another bottle.
We got another bottle. Big surprise. And we're smoking.
Big surprise.
Big surprise. Anybody that smells this is like, I would smoke a pipe.
So
It
what's
doesn't
a
always
golden?
taste like it
smells so good.
smells.
What's a golden Virginia?
It's a Virginia that's golden.
It's the color of gold when it's the tobacco has a gleam to it.
It's just like what's his face said about the Golden Fields or whatever. Oh, who was that sang about that?
The fields of gold.
Fields of Gold. Yeah, that's the one with the guy who. Wait, I almost had it. The guy whose kid died. What was his name?
Well, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of those.
But he's a singer. Eric Clapton. There it is.
Clapton, okay.
Yeah. In fields of gold. You remember that song? You know what I'm talking about, Steve, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He wrote that about his. No, that's Tears in Heaven. He wrote about it.
You haven't even opened this. You
Son
haven't
that
touched
died.
this.
This is an unopened bottle. Never had and never tried.
Same thing with the pouch, right? Of tobacco.
Yeah, both of these are brand new. The tobacco I've never had before, and this bottle I've never had before. But this tobacco is Casey Jones tobacco. It is American Hero. Is that what it's called?
Heroes Blend.
Heroes Blend. So there we go. Heroes Blend. It's an aromatic.
I was trying to figure out. I thought you were saying Casey Jones on the bottle. I was like, that does not say heroes on it, Chris.
No,
But you're talking about
it
the
does not.
tobacco.
The tobacco. The tobacco
Me and
is
Steve are on the
Heroes
same
Blend.
page.
We can't have things called the same thing. We can't have
Technically,
both of them
yeah.
Casey Jones.
Technically, if I had
in
said
our
either
bottle-
one, I would have been right. Because
Right.
they're both Casey Jones.
They're both
Right,
Casey
they're both
Jones.
Casey
but
Jones.
not the same guy, which we
Yes,
found
it
out. I
turns
just
out
found
not
out
the
5
same
minutes
guy.
ago.
That's right. Yeah, when we first discovered this bottle, the story behind it. This is the Eclipse bourbon. It came out in 2024 during the Eclipse.
Oh,
When they released a special bottle for
remember that.
They did a little festival and everything down
gosh,
there
that
for it.
feels like yesterday. It was not.
It was
long
it
ago.
was a
Yeah.
whole 2 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
How about that?
I know. When I was not there for it. I was not there for the Eclipse. I was there last summer. So the summer of 25 is when I was down there. I went down with my in-laws for a bit of a family get together. We all went to a cabin down in the land between the lakes, down in Kentucky and Tennessee, down there. And that's where this distillery was. So it's a very loose cork.
I was
It
going to
is
say,
very
I don't want to get
loose.
sidetracked here, but if I was this cork, I would really have some self-esteem issues.
I know, right?
It goes in and out way too easy.
Very, very easy. But yeah, I was down there with the in-laws and I found out there was a distillery close by. So me and the father-in-law took a little trip and went over to it to check it out. While we were there, did a little tour there. They were bottling. At that time, they had like a little honey fest going on, and you could bottle your own honey finished bourbon.
Nice.
And
With their
stuff,
own,
so-
like local honey type of deal?
Yep, their own local honey and all that. So that's what I did, and I have that one here. We've had that before. When I first went, I did that. And it's signed by the master distiller there, and I bottled it and wrote on the bottom of it and all that kind of good stuff.
On the bottom of this?
On the label.
Oh,
there, yeah.
okay. I was like, on the
Yeah,
bottom
not-
of this?
not the very bottom.
The bottom.
Yeah.
I was like, why?
Who would do that?
Yeah, why are we writing on the
Just gotta,
bottom
like,
of this
You
thing?
gotta finish to
You'd be
look
a
at it.
psychopath. Yeah. That would be like handing some like a pro athlete a hat to sign, and he does the inside where your hair goes.
Right.
Who would do that?
Right. No.
I mean,
Like turn around and walk away, dude.
Right. But while we were there, they gave us this Eclipse bottle to do on the podcast.
Oh, so this was a gift.
This was a gift. Yeah, yeah.
the podcast.
This was a gift for the podcast.
We like those things.
So I bought the honey one, and then my father-in-law bought a few things, and I bought a couple other ones too. But yeah, they gave us this one for the podcast. So, went down to look at it. The cool thing about it, though, if you go down there and look in their distillery and in their kind of gathering area, there's a big still in there. Like
it
a
still
lot
there?
of places. There's a still there.
I was swallowing, or else I was going to say that.
There's a still there. And And because that's in a lot of places, you'll see their first still or whatever.
Yeah, you don't get rid of it.
Yeah, exactly. But this one was a square still.
What?
Yeah, so it's shaped like a square.
Is it even a still at that point?
It's
Or is
still
it called
a still.
something else?
No, it's still a still.
It's still a still. Just
but
not
it is
round, it's square.
and that's how this guy kind of got famous. So Casey Jones was a moonshiner and still maker
And a fan
in
of
the
right
hills
angles.
of Kentucky.
Okay.
And he decided to start making square stills because they'll fit in the bed of a truck. And so that way you can make
Well,
quick getaways.
That does make sense.
And so he attached handles to it and stuff and then made the coiling system a little bit easier to take on and off.
But doesn't that affect, like, it's got to affect.
I mean, it has to, right? In some way, I would
Like, there's
think.
got to
Affect
be a
the
reason
flavor?
why 99.99999, like, they're the only ones, right? Everybody in the history of the world has been using like non-square. Then he's like, that's almost like I got an idea for a wheel. You know what I mean? And it's a square one. That's why you get extra traction. Well, maybe too much, I don't know.
But
That's weird.
So
Yeah.
it is weird. So they do not use a square still all the time.
But they did.
But they did.
And they could?
And they do have one that they still run stuff
So they
off.
could.
So they do still use
Is it like
one.
specialty stuff? That
I
they-
guarantee that this
I
one's
think they
not.
do short runs and stuff. This one is not.
Yeah, I
No.
was going to say
No, this is made in their
I
normal
gotta
still.
think there'd be some sort of variation to the
Yeah,
flavor.
yeah,
You have
I'm
to
sure
be like,
there
wow,
is.
that's different. Or
But
something.
they tell you there's more touching on the outside and there's maybe more consistency.
Maybe less
but
yield when it comes
yeah.
to the heads and the hearts and all that stuff.
Exactly, yeah.
I don't know how that works. That's science.
I really don't either.
That's
all
science that I don't
That's-
care about.
That's
I care
witchcraft.
about it, but I don't
I just don't know
understand it.
enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I care about gravity, but I still don't exactly understand it.
Right.
But
I
it
just
is
know
important
it
to
comes
know
down.
the basics.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, but that's how they got going. And Casey was doing that for a long time. But he eventually got caught and
Caught.
went to jail.
Even with the square. So that kind of points out that it didn't matter if they
well,
were
he
square
went for
or
a long
not.
time though. So I mean, and he made it for other people.
Longer than most.
So yeah, I mean, he didn't stop moonshining. He went to jail for only 2 years for bootlegging.
Okay. All right.
And stuff. So he got caught for bootlegging, and he didn't stop doing it until 1967.
Okay.
So like he was going for a minute.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, and so
Maybe he came out with the square still after he got caught.
now he was done after that.
Oh, after that he hung it up.
He hung it up after he got
Really?
caught.
Once a
and stuff.
moonshiner.
He got caught lots of times before that, but that was the last time he.
That
went
was
to
the last
prison.
straw.
Yeah, exactly. And
Was
then-
he married?
Well, he had kids.
Okay. Okay.
So I don't know
I
if he was
figured
married
it
or
was
not.
probably the wife that was like, "This is it.
But
You're done."
He procreated.
yeah. Because the guy that started this distillery is his grandson. So Arlon Casey Jones.
Is that his middle name? Casey?
Yep.
Arlon Casey Jones. That's
Arlon
actually pretty
Casey
cool.
Jones. So
That's
AJ
three.
is what he goes by.
Those are three first names.
Yeah, Arlon Casey Jones. I mean Jones. I don't know if Jones is a first name.
No, Jones is not a first name,
Yeah.
is it? I was
Well,
thinking
you
of
can call
there's a
someone
few people.
Jones.
Yeah, you call
Yeah.
people Jones.
Yeah.
Jones
I-
is the last
Jones.
name.
I was thinking Jonesy, kind of a thing, but that's
Jonesy?
probably a last name people call like as a nickname.
Yeah.
Anyway, strike
He was
that.
jonesing
Reverse
for
it.
a drink, and
He was jonesing
he
for
was
a Casey.
jonesing for a drink, and so he started this distillery, and
Okay.
they've been going since 2014. That's when they opened up, and he is the master distiller. That bottle is signed by him over there, and so and
On the
actually,
bottom.
I think that one's signed also.
It's
by him.
2026 now, so 2014 actually.
That's 12 years.
That's
Yeah.
a longer time than I realized.
Right.
That's a lot longer than like the ones we've done with like 4 years. on
Right.
it. Yeah, or
Yeah.
something,
So,
or 5 or 6.
right, and they've made quite a bit of movement, and so 2022 they opened up a larger area. They have a 3,000 barrel rick house
Okay.
down there.
I was just about to ask when you said it was you went to their small setup or you got they
Yeah.
had a small thing or whatever it was. I was like, how small is the whole operation?
It's a pretty,
Sounds like it's pretty
decent
good size.
operation. And when I was there, like they have the restaurant and the like seating area, but the rick house is right there too. It's very pretty too. They do a lot of gatherings and weddings and that kind of stuff.
So it's
there.
just not a big Ohio thing.
it's just not in
Because
Ohio.
I would have thought this was like a tiny distillery.
No, yeah, this is a little bit bigger, and they have gotten larger as of last month. So they were bought out / partnered last month in
With a
January.
lot of breweries, not a
Right.
lot of distilleries.
Yeah. So they joined in with this company called B3 Beverages, and it's mostly breweries. And
That
so,
do finishing type stuff.
well, just whatever, just regular
Vice versa,
local,
versa,
local
versa.
breweries, local companies. This is the first distillery that they've joined in with, and they seem to be essentially an investment group. but they're letting everybody do their thing. So they're not coming in and taking over.
Okay. I didn't know if it was like one of those where they do their craft beer finished in bourbon barrels and what you get what I'm saying? Bourbon aged.
Now,
like craft
when
beer.
I'm reading about this company and like what they're going to be doing, because like I said, this B3 Beverages is also new. So
Okay. It's a conglomerate.
There's a conglomerate of some sort. And they do talk a lot about co-manufacturing and sharing space and doing that kind of, to help smaller distilleries or breweries or whatever to grow and expand. And that's a really cool idea. And I could see a world where, yes, they start working with those
But also,
breweries to start doing some finishings, and also having other distilleries maybe start out either do their own distillery and use Casey Jones's
A launching
setup
pad. Yeah.
to do it, or
Kind of like Cobalt a little bit.
exactly, kind of like Cobalt, or because they have that big rick house, they may just be able to age stuff there
Age for peeps.
also,
That's
for
it.
other
Well,
people.
Big conglomerates like that too. That's an easy way to start sourcing out of it. If you acquire other brands and whatnot.
That's a massive storage.
It's a big place. It's a big rick house.
And there's no way it's full.
When we were at Liberty Pole, how many could they hold? Do you remember?
Wasn't it? I want to say it was like 300, wasn't it?
No,
No, it was more.
300.
There's
Yeah.
5 floors to it.
Yeah,
I think they may have only had 300 in there at the time.
That's what it was.
That could
Maybe
be,
that's
yeah.
what it was. Yeah.
but I
I
think
just remember that number sticking out.
The number in my head is like 7,000.
I think it was pretty extreme.
Yeah.
Like they built it planning for the future.
Exactly.
Kind
Yeah.
of thing.
But it was only like partly full on like the one. Yeah,
Yeah.
But they have room to grow.
Right. Exactly.
But Casey Jones doesn't have their warehouse full, the rick house full.
I don't know how full it is.
Okay.
Yeah. They built that in 2022.
Okay.
So I can't imagine that they have it full.
That's what I
at
picture in
this
my head of
point.
like, wow, you built it in 22 and you're already full. Like that's what my brain
Yeah,
went to. And I was
that'd
like, that'd be
that'd be an insane
Like,
production.
It's a lot of distilling
Yeah. So I can't imagine that's the case.
with those square stills. There's only so
right
many.
now, yeah. Man, they really pump it out.
Yeah,
on those
they're really
square ones.
pumping it out on the square stills. Yeah, I'm just looking at it. So it's a 4 grain,
It is a 4 grain. Yep.
that's what I was gonna look at.
Yeah.
and
it's
they have it all
75
dialed in there on the numbers.
Yep.
You can see
it's
it. there.
75
I've
corn.
been sitting there looking at it.
10 wheat and rye, and 5 malted
five
barley.
barley,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm trying to like, it's weird because I'm like trying to taste the tobacco, but then I'm also trying to like, so I'm like going back and forth, and I haven't really done them together yet. I've just been kind of like one or the other. It's good for an aromatic. This is pretty decent.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's interesting to me looking at this, I like the idea of the total eclipse, but what really throws me off is 2 spirits, 1 incredible celebration. We created both Total Eclipse Moonshine and Total Eclipse Bourbon for the Great American Eclipse of 2017 and 2024. So
It's a 7-year-old.
no,
it's a-
the question
mhm.
is, does this have is this a blend with moonshine in it?
No, they bottle the moonshine
I
and
think
they
there's-
bottle
okay,
the
okay, okay.
They have moonshine as a
didn't
product.
combine
It would be really nice if they like separated out, like made it very
I
clear.
heard that is like they did a moonshine and then they also did a bourbon.
Right. Yeah.
Mixed like they mixed
It's
them.
50-50.
50-50.
Yeah, just want to make sure.
No.
It's a 4-year-old.
but
This is 4 years.
Yep. Yeah. It's 4 years
Oh,
old.
I didn't see the age
Yeah,
statement.
it's
on
done.
it.
Done. 100 proof, 4
Yep.
years old. See,
100 proof.
I read.
I was just looking at the one.
He just misses
spot.
those daggone commas.
I read into things.
Yeah, you and the commas. I can't follow it sometimes because there's a pause where there shouldn't be. And I'm like, wait, how does that work? And then finally it hits. There's not supposed to be a pause there.
But yeah, so this one is 4 years old. It came out for that eclipse. Like I said, they had a little festival and stuff down there for it. And they came out with this bottle for that. It is a 4 grain, and it tastes like a 4 grain.
I like 4 grain.
And yeah,
Always have. Not all the time, but now and then. And they've got
it's
I
still
feel
a
like they
pretty
give
heavy
lot-
corn.
Yeah, but with a little bit more like flavor. You usually get a heavier corn with a 4 grain. It's usually the dominating factor. But with the other additives, I just feel like you do get a little bit more of a, I don't want to say well rounded, but like overall flavor profile. It might not be all this or all that, but it's a lot more going on than your typical non-4 grains.
Typical 3 grains.
Your 3 grains or your 100% corns, which you're not getting a whole lot of variation.
That's the
usually.
moonshine.
Yeah, that's the moonshine.
So
Which
they do
they
have a line of
mixed.
moonshine.
Which they mixed with this, right? Yeah, no.
50-50.
50-50.
It looks awful dark for a
Yeah.
mix.
Yeah, that's what you call 50-50 right there.
They just threw a little bit in there. That's okay.
Just a taste.
I'm trying to picture how small this distillery is. When I'm thinking,
So-
Sounds not small.
Honestly, it's probably like
Wiggle?
uh
Not the Rick House part, but the
not the Rick
setup.
House part, but the setup.
Because they had a pretty
The
big
setup is in a
distilling
barn.
floor.
So
Okay.
it's a barn.
oh, for Casey Jones.
Yeah, for Casey Jones. It's in a barn.
So maybe more than
I think they have a couple of stills. They have the square still that is in operation, and they have their regular still. They do vodkas and gins and a decent array of bourbons and moonshines.
But is it a big still that they use? Their dominating still? It's probably pretty big.
I mean, it's a pretty decent size. I'd say it's probably comparable to Wiggle in terms of production, but setup wise, think of farm. Like there's a barn there that is the distillery.
Land and whatnot.
There's another building that is their bottle shop and a big room in the back for gatherings. They don't have a restaurant there, but they do have a bar. I'm trying to remember. I think the bar was open to the public. I don't think it was like a just for events and stuff, but I think they mainly use it for events and tours and things like that. And then another building that is the Rick House. So it's a decent setup.
This guy's got nothing to do with railroad.
This guy's got nothing to do with the railroad. Now, Casey Jones, if you've heard of Casey Jones before, you've heard of the engineer Casey Jones.
I never heard of either one of them, just the stuff that's named Casey Jones.
Yeah. And all the stuff that's named Casey Jones is the engineer, the locomotive engineer. You all right over there?
Those chairs suck.
Dude, this chair, it's like the cushion, like, I was like,
The cushion slides
you
out.
can't see it, but the cushion was falling right out. And then I just pinched my thumb.
I was going to say.
It hurt quite a bit. But I'm trying to do it and smoke my pipe.
Right. I thought you burned yourself, to be honest.
No, that wouldn't have hurt as bad. This was a straight pinch right on the nail. Anyway, keep going.
But there is a Grateful Dead song called Casey Jones. There is a Johnny Cash song called Casey Jones.
Well, I have never heard that, and I listen to a lot of Johnny Cash.
Yeah, it's a remake. It's a folk song that he kind of made popular.
So what made So what made this Casey Jones important? Because you can't just drive a train and be like a Johnny Cash
That's
song.
the thing. So Casey Jones, this is way back in 1900. Okay. So trains are kind of the thing at that time. He decided he got real into trains and decided he wanted to be a part of it and go into the locomotive deal. And so he worked his way up and he was running freight trains and was driving them as an engineer. He was a brakeman, and then he worked his way into an engineer.
So not passenger train.
At this time, not passenger trains. And he got very well known for being able to make up time and get stuff in on time.
Probably cutting corners of safety to.
He was fast, but he was well known, well respected.
Is he Thomas the Train Engine? Is that what he's named after?
He is not, but that would be cool.
That'd be kind of cool, right?
Yeah.
I think I could. I think I can.
Yeah, is there a Casey in that show? We should watch. We should check it out.
Probably.
I haven't seen Thomas the Tank Engine in a few years, so
I can't tell you the last time I saw.
Right? Yeah,
I bet there is a Casey on that show.
Yeah, but he did though end up doing passenger trains, and he was the engineer for a train. Engine 382 is what it was called.
382.
And the story goes that the story behind him getting famous is he is driving this train and it's like 3 hours behind schedule. So he is busting it. And like I said, he's known for getting stuff in on time. And they have to drive all through the night, and he's going to have the right of way all the way through.
And you can't drive too fast because there's passengers.
Right, there's passengers, but he got it up. So he got it up to about 75. So he's cooking 75 miles an hour. In a train, in a steam engine train at that
that's
time.
pretty fast back
I have to
then.
keep like
With
imagining back
passengers.
then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Taking some curves and stuff at 75.
Remember what they had to do to get the train up to 88 miles an hour and Back to the Future.
That's a good point.
So
there was a lot that they had to do for that.
They had to throw explosives in there to get that to do it.
And even then, they barely made it.
And they barely made it.
Right over the valley.
So when they got moving to 75, that's a pretty big deal. So they pull off onto a siding. They let this freight train that was supposed to go through, and they go, and now they have the right of the way the rest of the night. They're cooking, and they get it to. He's about 20 minutes behind schedule at this point, so he is catching up. He is making up time all the way through, there's a freight train coming the opposite way, and they're supposed to go onto this passenger and onto this side rail to let him through. And that's what they do. They go over and they're going onto this siding. Their brakes go out. And when that happens, or their brakes lock up, the air brake line broke, so everything locks up. So the caboose and 2 more things are on the main line now. And there's nothing to tell you about it. It's the middle of the night, so you can't see anything. And it was right before an S-curve. So there's just no indication that this is about to happen. So they're going, and they get around that curve and they see it. And so he catches the brake and goes. He sends his brakeman or his fireman and says, bail. And so his fireman bails, and they're, like I said, they're going about 75. He bails about 300 yards before they made contact. He got the train down to about 35. So he got it slowed way down. Now they broke through, tipped over, all that kind of stuff. The passengers, maybe a few bumps and bruises. That's it. The only fatality is Casey Jones, because he never bailed. If he would have bailed and they would have hit that thing going full tilt, it would have gone all the way through, knocked everything out, and they all would have tipped over. And probably the passengers would have died.
But if he hadn't been trying to make up time and just driving regular,
I don't know.
Would he be able to slow down enough to where he didn't even cause a fatality?
I don't know what normal speed was.
But he only caused his fatality.
Well, he must have been going fast to make up 3 hours.
Right, exactly. And
so my only thing is, was the 3 hours worth the crash?
Well,
you want to ask him?
Yeah,
because if I was a passenger, I'd rather get there 3 hours late than be involved in a train crash.
Well, the passengers, a lot of them slept through it. They were unaware for the most part, unless you were in the first one.
And I'm not saying he's not a hero, but you get what I'm saying?
But also, I don't know at that point if he was still, I don't know how fast normal was to be like, oh, is 75 still really fast?
But he got it down to 35. My thing is, say he was going like a little bit slower, maybe he would have gotten it down like 15.
Maybe.
Which is a lot better than 35.
And maybe he would have saved his own life.
Could have.
I don't know.
Could have. So it's a cautionary tale as well. Don't rush.
Exactly. Yeah. Now, his watch stopped on impact, his pocket watch. So they knew the time that everything happened.
So 382?
And that would have been cool.
That would have been nuts, right? They're like, oh my gosh.
But based on the time and how close they were, they would have gotten in on time. So he did make up all of the time that was lapsed.
Got a lead foot.
Now, that train then now has a haunted tale behind it, because 382 was rebuilt, which they did a lot back then. They'll rebuild a train. It was rebuilt. It was later on involved in 4 more accidents.
Well, maybe it's a train.
That.
Maybe it wasn't Casey.
They then decided that the train was haunted by Casey Jones. The last one ended up killing, the only one that was, not the only one that was fatal, but because he was fatal. But the worst one killed 4 people, including the president and vice president of the railway.
Whoa. There you go. There you go.
Yeah, so that was the last one.
So Casey Jones dies to save, then lives to kill.
Right.
They should make a horror movie about that. Yeah.
The last one was them being like, trust us, this is safe.
Right.
You don't have to worry about anything.
Yeah.
And then
The
they're like,
haunting of Casey Jones.
So yeah,
He's
and that,
choking people out with his wristwatch or his stopwatch or whatever.
So there is a Casey Jones museum, and there's lots of people that talk about it.
Is it on a train?
It is. There's a train out front. It's not
missed
on
opportunity.
A
It
train.
needs to be on a train while
The
it's
real
going.
train
Yeah.
is with the Ark of the Covenant. They were in Indiana, where
Right,
Indiana
exactly.
Jones put everything in that big warehouse. They got the train 342. Casey Jones is still stuck in there. His
Just sitting
skeleton.
there.
His skeleton. He won't leave the train.
It's like, gosh dang it.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting. Nothing to do with the bottle.
Nothing to do with the bottle at all. And another bit of irony is that Casey Jones, the train engineer, did not drink.
He wasn't a drinker.
He was not a drinker.
Was
he was
he
not a
against it?
teetotaler.
Okay.
But he just wasn't a drinker himself.
Wasn't a drinker until that night.
Until that night. That's how they made up all the time.
Actually, he was the regular guy. He was running booze. That's how he got out of it. He's like, okay, I'm going to join the railway, and then I'm going to run my booze this way. They'll never catch me.
Everyone else survived because he was the only one up there. His quote unquote fireman was just him. It was his imaginary friends.
Right.
Like, go ahead and jump off.
Yeah. Well, his imaginary friend's name is Sims.
Oh, Sims.
And he did well.
And he lived through it.
He lived well through it. He continued on in the railroad industry until about 1919. And then he was involved in another near miss and decided he was done with it.
It
at that
sounds
point.
like that wasn't the safest form of travel back then.
It really wasn't. There was a lot of danger involved.
All because people were trying to make up time. If they had gone a safe speed, probably would have been okay.
If trains can make up time, why can't planes?
Well, they did with the Concorde, and then they stopped that.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Remember this?
I don't think so. It was a larger plane.
It's called the Concorde. You don't remember
Yes,
this?
I do remember this vaguely, but not much.
It's weird how nobody remembers the Concorde. I remember it being a bigger deal than people talk about. It's almost like one of those Mandela effects.
It's like you're asking me to remember the Alamo. Like
This
the
is
Concorde.
like the 90s, right?
It was super fast. Yeah, in the 90s.
Okay, yeah.
It was revolutionary, and then it just disappeared. Nobody talks about this.
There
You
was only
literally
one
could
of
get
them,
like
right?
what would have been like an 8-hour flight would be like an hour. That's literally how fast it was. It was like a jet. It was a passenger jet.
I think I found the reason why they stopped doing it.
There was a flight from like no, there was no problem. Nobody ever had a problem with it. Like there was no tragedies. There was no
fuel
crashes.
consumption.
Literally, like you could get from London to America in like 2 hours. It was that fast. The Concorde. But I think they said it shut down because it was too expensive. However, people were buying tickets. So that doesn't really check out.
Maybe they weren't charging the right price.
Yeah,
I don't
maybe
think
they
it
couldn't
I just don't
last.
think it I don't think it checks out. Like it just disappeared and nobody's replaced it. Nobody talks about it. But it was really, really fast. And people flew on it and they loved it. And they were willing to pay the extra money because it was fast.
But was it maybe a loss leader? Like maybe they didn't get enough
To
like maybe
justify it? I
the
don't
tickets, like the tickets
I
weren't.
mean, it would have had to have
more
been
too
very expensive fuel or something, but because they were expensive, but people were buying tickets. So I don't know. I don't know.
Did you buy it?
If you look it up, like there was plenty of people that were willing to pay for tickets, but they said the reason why because they weren't making money. I just don't know if that's true. Because it's like if you're charging the price that you would make money and people are buying it at that price, are you really losing money?
Yeah.
And then for it to be completely gone, like nobody's replicated it, nobody's
Right.
done anything with it. Again, it's like from the 90s. Like
Well,
what could we do now with technology?
okay,
That was technology
so-
in the 90s.
Maybe someone bought it out and shut it down for the purpose of no one else being able to recreate it.
Like the Tucker.
Like the Tucker.
You keep bringing up
You don't
things
talk
like
I don't know what the Tucker. I have no idea what the Tucker is.
The Tucker car?
The Tucker car. Oh, I have heard of a Tucker car, but I don't know anything about a Tucker car.
Is this the one
I
that
don't
was
know that it's good, bad, or
I
ran
told
off
you
of
the
water?
story. No, I didn't run. This one didn't run off water, but it was better in a lot of ways than all the other cars. It's the one that was there was only like 100 and something made because he had this weird thing where he needed a loan and nobody believed him in him. And then when he made stuff, they were like, "Oh, this is amazing." Basically, he came out with a better automobile for the same or less than like what they were currently going for. They ran better. He invented things like he was the first one to have windshield wipers, and he had 3 lights. There was 3 headlights. There's a whole thing about the Tucker. But basically, the big guy shut him down to a point where it got ridiculous. Like, obviously, he was getting shut down by Ford and Chevy. And, like, he ends up, like, being in a courtroom, and they're, like, trying to shut him down legally. And he's basically like, "You can't do this to me." And they're like, "Well, you don't have the automobiles, and you took a loan out. And since you don't have them, that's this, and you're going to jail." And he's like, "I do have them." And the judge was like, "If you have one automobile, if you can show me one automobile, then like clearly they're lying and you're free to go." And he had one sitting parked outside. He's like, "Just open the window and look." And they wouldn't do it. They like refused to open the window and look because it was clearly like he was getting shut down. It's a whole long like thing about it. You'd have to like it would be an interesting thing if you have time to like look
It really
into.
sounds like he was all tuckered out.
He was tuckered out.
He was Tuckered out.
He was all tuckered
Yeah,
out.
The Tucker. Yeah. And then there were a few of those things rolling around at one point. I don't know if there's any more. So valuable because this happened so long ago, but they were like super collectible because it's like there was only like 100 and something made or like 50 of them made or whatever it was. It's an interesting story, but basically what it boils down to is he's one of the small guys that came up with something better and cheaper than like the big guys
and they
and got
didn't like
squashed
that.
like
Yeah.
a bug. which does happen.
Interesting. Good, well, to go on to the Casey Jones here. So the reason I ask how small they are, I might have to pour some more to really get a good idea. But I don't get any dusty corn off this,
Yeah, there's like an absence of that.
which is kind of weird and concerning.
I don't think it's weird or concerning. I think they're bigger than what you think. You know what I mean?
Well, so I've been trying to figure out, like, okay, this reminds me of something, but it's clearly not like a dusty barn, dusty corn kind of small craft. And Chris, this will be interesting to see what you think. I finally have pinpointed who this reminds me of, and it's a very specific bottling of theirs. This reminds me of Willet, but the Bardstown. They do the Bardstown Estate and the Bardstown Bottle and Bond. This reminds me of the Estate. It's got that, it's not Dusty Barn, but it's got that like unique flavor to it.
I get what you're saying. It doesn't taste like Willet, but the way that Willet has a different taste that like a lot of people don't like, and you almost can't put your finger on it. It's kind of like the way I talk about American single malts. Not like an American single malt, but how it's different. Yep. Willet has a different kind of tang to it that a lot of people don't like.
Right. And their pot still, a lot of people don't like it or even Johnny's Drum. No. Not Johnny.
It's not Johnny's Drum, is it? Johnny Drum.
Johnny Drum.
Yeah, without the S. Yeah.
So Johnny Drum, a lot of people don't like it because it reminds them of a star anise. So that like black licorice almost kind of feel. A lot of people then equate that to, oh, that's Willet's flavor, is that star anise. I don't think that's really the case, but it's unique enough that people are like, that's the only thing I could pair with it.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
You know?
Yeah, this doesn't taste like that, but I get what you're saying. It has its own kind of tang to it, and you're almost like not sure if you like it or not. Yep. But what it absolutely does, it does not taste like craft.
No, so it's not. This is where it also reminds me of Willet. It's
almost
not
too polished.
It's not craft, but it's also not big name distillery. It's like its own little weird sect.
It's like one of the middle guys.
Yeah,
there's plenty of middle guys out there,
but there's a very few number of middle guys that can produce something like this. They're like, that might almost be big name distillery.
Yeah,
like
I get what you're saying. Quality,
yeah. But it's not craft.
I mean,
at the same time,
yeah,
like it's not.
Do you get the craft flavor, the Dusty Barn stuff from Middle West still?
I've never really gotten that from Middle West. I don't know
maybe off their dark, like Pumpernickel.
Okay.
Their rye.
What about Watershed?
Oh, Watershed back in the day did.
Not
now.
No,
not now. They haven't had it. They haven't had it for a while.
Which we still haven't exactly determined what causes that, because it's not every craft distillery, but it's definitely none of the big guys.
Right, like Iron Vault had some of that. Liberty Pole had some of that. Wiggle a little less, depending on what you had of theirs, but it still had remnants of it. I don't know if it's when you start getting to increasing to a certain size.
I don't know what causes
yeah.
it. And we've had some places where they have it in certain bottles and don't have it in others. So this is not like that. It's more like quality-wise, it tastes more like middle of the road. What I'm trying to determine, and it is one of those that you almost have to have a few glasses to determine it. It's like it's got a lot of flavor. And I wouldn't say full flavor, but it's got what flavor it has is a lot. And there's a lot of different kind of flavors competing. I don't know if I like it flavor-wise, or I don't know if I don't like it. It's like I'm not sure about what the flavor is. Like maybe it's offensive, but maybe not. Do you get what I'm saying?
There's too much going on.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's meshing well or if that's a good thing, or because it is different. But it almost feels like there's like a lot more to unpack than what I have time for. That's how I feel. Like I'm almost rushed into trying to unpack what flavor is going on. Yeah. And I expect something a little bit like easier going than this.
I want to say a couple episodes ago, we talked about art and whiskey and how they're almost intertwined. Like those that appreciate a good art also appreciate like a good whiskey. With that in mind, this very much feels like the artwork where it's just thrown paint against the canvas and they're like, ooh, look at this. And you're like, I'm not sure what am I looking at? Like what
abstract?
Right. Like I'm struggling to figure. There's so much going on that I'm struggling to figure out what am I supposed to focus on first, to then pull the string to find.
I would tweak that a bit. For me, it's almost more like finished works of art that are great in their own right that have been pieced together to make its own work of art. You get what I'm saying? Like every aspect is really good on its own, but they're almost like meshed together to a point where they're competing for like your attention. And in a one way you like it because you appreciate all of them, and together they make new art. But in the other way, it's like, is it distracting? Is it too much? Is it distracting?
So
I don't know.
almost like a collage kind of thing.
Collage.
Well, so like there's at the high school that I work at, it's named after Rutherford B. Hayes, the president. Okay. And there's in one of the hallways there is a portrait of Rutherford B. Hayes. So it's a face portrait. But each square of his face, like it's divided into 24 squares or whatever. Okay. And each one is done by a different student and stuff. So like his eye is almost like cut in half on one of his eyes is like cut in half. Half of it is on one square, the other one is on the other square. So it's two different artists doing it, which is super cool. Yeah. And if it was, maybe not at high school and maybe a little bit more professional or whatever, I think that's kind of the idea that maybe Chris is going for, is those individual sections and then the whole thing
that are coming together to make one thing, right. But they are definitely different parts.
Exactly. But every time I walk by it, I'm looking at a couple of those squares. I'm rarely looking at the portrait.
Right. You get distracted from the whole.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm trying to.
And so I think that's what this is, because you're right. It's pretty bold. Like there's lots of the flavors in it are full flavors.
You're all working kind of independently and also simultaneously.
Yeah, and they're not really, like you said, they're not necessarily meshing right. So remember to go back to maybe this is what you're thinking of is barrel seagrass. And
that makes more sense.
And how like you were saying how you didn't like the fact that there were these multiple flavors and they weren't going together.
There was like
especially along with the finish
chopping each other. Yes. Whereas Chris and I were kind of okay with that particular bottle. With this one, we just don't know where we are with it yet. We need to maybe have a few more drinks to figure out.
But then I feel like also if you were to do that, it's taxing. Like I think you'd get tired of drinking before you get tired of drinking before you were actually ready to be done drinking. You might have to switch to something else, which is not always a bad thing. But we've had that with pipe tobacco too, where you're like, this is great, or maybe this isn't great, but I appreciate it. But I also can only have like one bowl of, or sometimes you're like, man, am I down to the bottom yet? I'm just done. You know what I mean? Like it's almost a little too much. It's like having too much, of anything is sometimes, but sometimes a lot of something very basic is really good. So I don't know. Anybody that says too much of a good thing is a bad thing. I don't know if that's exactly true. But there are times you have too much of something and you're like just done with it.
I started cracking up because I had a picture in my head of like, okay, who is this for? Is it welcoming, right? Like when you first open a bottle, is it welcoming or is it offensive or is it like extreme, right? I got a picture for this bottle of, I think you guys will appreciate this because you guys appreciate Seinfeld. Kramer coming in to the room.
Yeah.
Like door flying open, just crazy hair. That's
he'd like that kind of thing. Yeah. Because his brain's already working like that.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And it's not like that's unwelcoming, but that was his welcoming of like, I like you guys. We need to talk about something, or I need to come and do something. That's this bottle. This is Kramer walking in the door.
I also find it interesting to talk about this aspect of it. Is like Casey Jones is cool. Like the story that you told is really cool. And there's a lot of bottles that are named, like talked about, like where the story is kind of cool or maybe not even that cool. Like Pepper is one of those. You know what I mean? Like, there's plenty of bottles you're like, okay, this story kind of sucks, but they're also not exactly hanging their hat on it. Yeah. And I don't want to say this bottle's hanging their hat on it, but it feels like they're kind of hanging their hat on it. Yeah. And like, who really gives a, about Casey Jones? So, like there might be a couple people, but not enough to like name, like make your brand Casey Jones.
So when you're at the distillery, there are like his arrest warrant is on the wall. And like, so like they're doing some history around
playing
that.
It up a little bit.
And the fact that it's his grandson that's running it is
that's more cool.
Like that's the cool part of this. If it wasn't his grandson running it would really I'd have a real problem with this branding. But since it's family, I'm okay with it. But
they need to kind of upsell that a little bit more.
Yeah. Now, while I was doing research on this, I was unable to find any mention of Casey Jones, the moonshiner, that did not come from the distillery. So like every time it circled always back to the distillery. So I couldn't find anything that was like, oh, this is a famous moonshiner that people knew about. But he was also a moonshiner. So like who was talking about it?
That leads you to ask the question
of how much is true.
There it is.
Exactly. Yeah.
And how much is just Grandpappy did have some moonshine and he got in a run-in with the law or time or two. Well, maybe it was for freaking fist fighting for all we know. Like maybe he did come up with a square still and everybody was like, you're crazy. And he was like, oh, I am. That's me, Casey Jones. You know what I mean? And then they talked him up over the years because every time you die, you become a saint. So then like Grandpappy Casey was a hell of a guy. You know what I mean?
Right. Now there was like, there and everything, they had a lot of the drawings and they had a lot of letters and stuff like that from people of the time and other moonshiners and all that. So like, I don't think that he was fake and I don't think that he wasn't a moonshiner.
No, but did they, are they talking it up or
his
not?
level of notoriety maybe isn't quite what they, what they
maybe
had
it was
out
different
or at the time. And so, but also that's just kind of history. Most people are not as big as we talk about them today.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. If you were to, I heard that today, something about, I care too much about a good story to
mess around with facts.
Or something basically like that. To honor the truth kind of a thing. Yeah. Like you got to bend like if you're not exaggerating a little bit, are you really a good storyteller? Right. I'm not saying you should overdo it, but you do need to exaggerate just a hair, right? Absolutely. Maybe it was a little bit more water than it actually was when somebody got wet. You know what I mean? Or something like that. Right. But like, you don't want to overdo it. But you do have to, got to spin a yarn.
Right, exactly. And that's the thing, because, with our couple of recordings here that we're going to be doing, the next one we're going to do is Iron Shoe Distillery, and it's up in Michigan. And they have kind of the opposite problem where they really don't have a story. And so which one would you rather have? Would you rather have an over-embellished good story or not a story at all? And that's a hard thing to
you
decide
just go
on.
Somewhere there in the middle and
yep.
And like a lot of people do.
Right. Yep. And I think it usually comes down to is how good is the liquid inside.
That's the ultimate deciding factor.
And so if the liquid's really good, you can let them get away with a little bit more embellishment.
A little bit more fictional license.
Yeah, exactly. Or make up for the fact that they don't have necessarily a great
here's
story.
My thing. I never said that it had to be true. Yeah. But if you are going to have a story, maybe I do want a little bit more like fake made up stuff. Like maybe tell me Casey Jones did this, that, or the other. Maybe I'd be like, now that is a story. You know what I mean?
Tell me that he was
maybe blind. That's part of it. Like just because he had a square still and he got, caught and then quit, or something like that. It's like, okay. But maybe if you've been like, and he did wrestle an alligator, and also sold private moonshine to President Ford or whoever the president was at the time. Something. Make something up.
He needed to kill a regulator or two.
Yeah. Exactly. There was a couple regulators found dead, stuffed in one of his bourbon barrels or something. Like, yeah. And then they sold the liquid. Yes. Right. Yeah. Okay. I'll buy that stuff.
Yeah.
That's weird. That's cool.
So I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit for your benefit in that, because I kind of left this out because it's just kind of a little side thing and it almost feels made up.
A footnote. Okay.
But that a lot of his moonshine was a bit of a favorite for Al Capone.
There you go.
And so,
you can't leave that out. So, totally probably embellished, but why not? Maybe
exactly.
not. Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, when you think Casey Jones, you don't really think Al Capone.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
But sure.
It's our time period though. Yeah. The time period's right for it. So So but there you go. So there's your extra embellishment.
But I will say, based on both stories, I don't know which one I'm more impressed with. The tobacco Casey Jones or the distiller Casey Jones. Yeah. They're both kind of, you know what I mean?
You're hoping for a bit more?
Maybe. Maybe I want to find out that they were like, some sort of weird distant cousins that switched lives or something. I don't know, or something weird. Yeah.
The engineer Casey Jones was not from Kentucky, so he's not even,
and he didn't even like to drink.
Not close by.
But he did have a lot of kids.
He was Missouri, I think. Jones. Yeah. Well, it had enough kids to have a grandfather or a grandson. So
he had a grandfather and a grandson. Yeah.
So I would be very intrigued. Not very intrigued. I think I might appreciate this distillery a bit more if they relied on something past the name, in the sense that if they have the square still,
That's what I mean.
use the square still.
Like I said, they
Maybe,
do.
yeah.
All the time. That is your
Maybe they
main
do
thing.
need maybe a little bit more than just. That's what I'm getting at. Like,
Yeah. Or at least something about the square still and why that matters or what it is. With the only thing that I know about the square still is that, like I said, it was good for quick getaways. So moonshining era, it makes a little bit of sense for that. Now, maybe it's more difficult to make, and that's why nobody took it over. Maybe the product changes. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of science to back up.
but then also stick with the theme. Make like a Thunder Road bourbon, right?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Make a White Lightning something. I don't know. Maybe
White
I'm not going to say
Lightning
go
vodka?
nuts, but maybe have a little bit more of a theme if you're going to talk about. Maybe be like the Prohibition, talking about like. I mean, here's the other thing nobody talks about, like racing, NASCAR. That all started from bootlegging. We didn't race cars before that. They literally started like the name Hot Rod literally comes from a car souped up to run liquor illegally. Nobody talks about that. And there's not one distillery that I know of that kind of hangs their hat on that. And why not? Kind of makes sense. Kind of makes sense to do something like that.
Right. Yeah. And these guys do make a decent amount of moonshine, as they should.
As you will.
If that is your story, if you're basing yourself off of a moonshiner, you better be making moonshine. And these guys do. But yeah, so they make a couple other just regular bourbons. They have a Bald and Bond, but their main stuff is really just their run of the mill bourbons.
Interesting. So they do mostly focus on bourbons, not on moonshine.
Now, I mean, they have a line of moonshine, but it's hard to make yourself famous on moonshine.
Right. So I guess what I think of is like, name another moonshine company that focused on, like distiller that focused on moonshine that was able to then put out this kind of quality bourbon. Because they're drastically different from each other.
Well, I'm just trying to understand why. Maybe it's in Ohio. It's not that popular, but I'm just trying to understand how they're so successful. Like, is there people that are really going after Casey Jones?
I don't know how much people are going after him. There's not a lot of people
enough
talking
for them
about
to
him
build up to
or
this
anything,
level, right?
But they're certainly at least aiming to go bigger. Yeah. And maybe with the backing of this other company, maybe they will start getting into more places.
Maybe that's why they had the backing of the other company.
Right.
Maybe they stretched too thin, hoping that at some point it would catch on.
Yeah.
And now they need a backing of someone else to
just seems to me like
take
a
care of
company
them.
that would maybe do good having a few things in their lineup, but then mostly distilling for other people. Maybe, you know what I mean? Just because Casey Jones just seems to me like a brand of like a manufacturing brand, less of like a brand.
Now, I will say though, their area and their location, like I said, they do a lot of weddings, a lot of events and things like that. So I could see a decent amount of people making it a bit of a destination distillery because of that, because of having an interesting location, and it's a very pretty area and lots of people vacation in that area.
Like where in Kentucky?
almost winery like in that, maybe.
But again, would you like incorporate that with Casey Jones, the bootlegger?
No, the name itself,
it's just
like
weird,
that
right?
doesn't
It's
really
like
go.
it like doesn't go together, you know?
Right, yeah. It's Land Between the Lakes is the name of the area, and it's like between Kentucky and Tennessee.
Wait, Lando Lakes?
No, not Land O'Lakes.
Butter?
Exactly. Do they still have that? Well, they probably don't.
Yeah, they do.
Do
The
they?
Indian on it or whatever.
Yeah, the Native American. Yeah.
Yep.
I didn't know if they
In the canoe?
took that
Nope,
down
they
or
still got
not.
that.
Because I mean, really, you got to keep that.
Yeah.
She's kind of hot, a little bit.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think it might be a guy.
I want to say
No, it's a girl.
Is it?
We're looking it up.
You're gonna have
Someone's
to.
looking it up.
It's important now.
This is important. It's like Pocahontas. dude.
Right. I don't know. You look it up. But land between the lakes is between Kentucky and Tennessee, and it's become a bit of a vacation spot. It's the Cumberland River is right there, and another river. All kind of
They removed
right
her.
there.
They removed her hard.
Oh yeah.
Yep, she was known as Mia, and they removed her hard.
Oh, it was a lady.
Yeah.
Well, that's good for you.
No, because they took her away. Dude, you don't remember this? Like, how do you... Now, look, you ready? You get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying?
She looks fairly masculine to me.
What?
You know what I'm saying?
What are you talking about?
You know what I'm saying?
Dude,
The butter's covering up anything important to
Dude,
me.
I don't know what you're talking about. Her knees in the... Well...
Dang butter.
those
Look at it again. You
knees.
see it? And she's got the hips. You see the hips? Do I really have to point it out for you? And then she's got the milk right here, the butter right here, you know?
I did see the butter was
That is
in front of her
clearly
breast.
a female Native American.
Okay, zooming in, I do see a feminine face.
Do you get that? Or
Yeah, the face
do you
is
need your eyes
feminine.
checked? But anyway,
You're the reason why
she's just like,
they had
I like
skirts
it.
that covered the ankles back in the day. You see them ankles? You see them knees? But them knees.
oh, they
guys.
even had like a legit person at one point.
Oh, see, now there you go. Now that's good old
That's
80s
Mia,
marketing.
Yeah, they took her. They took her right off of there. That's unfortunate. Well, anyway, oh, here's Pocahontas.
See, now, yeah, well, I recognize that one.
Very probably the most underrated Disney princess, in my opinion.
Is she a princess?
Yes, she was the chief's daughter.
Yeah, but does that make you a princess?
The chief
The
of
chief is the
America.
king.
He was like
Well, he's not the king, he's a chief.
he was
Well, that's because
basically
they don't
the
have kings, they have chiefs.
Right. So,
it's the
if
same
he's a
thing.
chief and not a king, then what does it make her?
well, chief probably correlated to the same word as king. They just had their own language.
Person in charge's daughter. That's the
Commander
princess.
in chief. And probably for like he was the guy that treated with the English when they came. So probably the majority of like natives in that area. So like the king of the Indians. Like that she's more of a princess than some. I mean, like Ariel, like
She's
the
the
Little
princess
Mermaid.
of the sea.
Yeah, but like
There's
the
a king.
daughter
There's
of a god, actually.
Triton. Yeah. But
Yeah.
what I'm saying is like very similar to the chief's princess.
Yeah,
You get what I'm saying?
I agree
The
with
chief's
you.
daughter. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's totally 100% unequivocally a princess.
Person in charge's daughter is princess.
Is princess.
Yeah,
Yes.
and like so, this is a controversial statement today in today's world. So go ahead and take away any kind of preconceived notions with this. But the president's daughter is essentially a princess, even though the president is not a king.
But he's a commander in chief. He's in charge.
But he's the guy in charge.
I think we put too much on the word king and we just differentiate between that a little. Like he's in charge. A king's in charge. A president is a democracy. You know, we elect him, but he's still in charge. The only difference between like a king in a traditional society was we didn't elect the king. He was born that way with his birthright. The difference is we are electing the president, so we're choosing him to be. Anybody has a problem with being like he's in charge? You put him there, you idiot. Like
I didn't.
well,
But
you didn't, but you don't. But collectively,
But,
collectively,
yes.
whether you like it or not, collectively, enough Americans got together and said, "Yes, this is the guy," or whoever it was.
Right.
So, based on the public's consent, he's the president at the time, which makes his daughter, whether she's cool or not, a princess. In my opinion, I agree with you, Steve.
I go with she as a princess, even if he should not be a king. And so yes,
Yeah, I wouldn't say the president's a king in the context that people think of kings. They get real bent out of shape with that word. But he is the biggest, the highest, the most in charge person in America, which would mean that his daughter would be the most important daughter, probably, right? Like princess. Yeah,
the first daughter.
the first daughter.
It's the first,
Yeah,
the first lady,
the first daughter,
the
the
first
first
son,
dog, the first
first dog.
fish
Yeah, exactly.
in the bowl. I don't know. Like definitely the
anyone
fish
become
and the
the second
president in the
lady?
White
Yeah,
House.
the vice presidents. The vice president. Yeah, is the second lady.
Is there a third lady?
There is not. Maybe Secretary of State. I don't know.
I'm really
Not-
hoping,
not exactly
I'm
the
really
third.
hoping there's 7 ladies.
But really, if you're not first, you're last. Hello. Mary, say hi in the podcast. We're rounding out a long episode, I think.
Hi, podcast.
That's our first lady.
They all said
Mary.
hi
The
back.
first lady.
You didn't hear. Yeah. This is the first lady.
All right, but yes. So Casey Jones, we're unsure about the liquid. It sounds like. Well, it sounds like
And the tobacco.
And the
Kind of
tobacco.
different, too.
Yeah,
The tobacco itself's good.
Tobacco for me, it is tobacco is an aromatic. I've decided that this is the right way for me to smoke aromatics, is while talking, because
you don't
it goes
puff 'em
out a
too
lot
much and you don't burn your mouth.
and
Yeah.
I don't burn my mouth. So
Agreed.
I haven't been burning my mouth at all,
But
which
that's
is
what
what
an
I
aromatic
normally
is
do
for the other
with
people.
an aromatic.
like you
Yeah.
puff a little bit, people smell it, they love it. It's great. You're not smoking that much. You're not burning
Yeah.
the crap out of yourself.
Yeah, because I normally burn my mouth with aromatics, and I think that
Absolutely.
this is a good experience
Because you're
with an
puffing
aromatic.
it like a freight train.
Exactly. Right.
Casey Jones.
Like Casey
Casey
Jones.
You're trying to make up 2 hours.
Right. Which is now you should do with Casey Jones's tobacco.
Yes.
Yeah,
We'll
Nick
say.
for the alcohol.
For the alcohol,
Yeah.
what I remember of the honey barrel finish versus this is, I hate to say, better quality.
Well, it doesn't have honey in it for one.
Yeah, but so this is finished in honey
So
barrels.
very
It's not blended with honey.
But you're not getting honey out of them barrels when you put the liquid in. There's definitely some honey
right.
that's
No, that's
going
fair.
into the liquid, and that's why you got sediment.
I remember
looks
trying
like
the Casey
syrup.
Jones. I remember trying the honey one and being like, well, "This is honey. Like this is a bit more intense than I was."
Oh, more
hoping.
honey than you thought. Yeah. I mean, he brought it. Might have to try it. It's been a while.
All right. Well, there we go. Casey Jones.
Casey Jones, Jones, and Jones.
All the Casey Jones.
I'm jonesing for another episode, so we'll
I'm
do
all
another
Jones
one.
Come on back. Listen to another one.
Yep.
Till next time,
All right,
then.
until next time.
Thank you for listening to the podcast. If you want more great content and other perks, be sure to support the show by clicking the link in the show notes. We can be reached on our website, whiskeychaserspod.com, with any ideas for the show. Thanks again.